Jeffrey was in town for business, so had to check into a hotel for 2 nights. He was tired from driving 4 hours on this business trip, which was the 3rd long business trip he took this week. But at least he could rest here for 2 nights, he thought to himself. As he was driving down the highway, there didn't seem to be another car in sight, but he knew, as much as he felt like he was in the middle of nowhere, that there was a hotel just a bit down the road. When he finally got to the hotel, he parked his car and made his way to the reception. There was a nice, friendly-looking lady at the reception, and he gave her his name and address and details to book a hotel room for 2 nights. She looked at the laptop, and for a minute he worried she was going to say they were booked out, and was going to get very angry because she could at least have told him this when he booked over the phone this morning. Then suddenly she smiled and said, "That's great, sir. I have a room 22 on the 1st floor. The elevators are right that way. And you were booked in for breakfast also, sir. But also, just one more thing before you go and enjoy your stay. There is a room just across from yours with no number on it. It's a storeroom. Please don't go in there, no matter what you do. Sometimes people can go into the wrong room, but please don't make that mistake of opening that door, please." The man smiled and said, "Sure," and took his keycard from the lady. As she smiled, he forced a smile back. When he got in the room, he sat down on the bed and wondered why she was so adamant to him not go into that room. He felt like when he was a kid, the forbidden fruit, like if some counter in a fast food joint said hot do not touch. Well, you touch it to see is it hot. With that, he opened his door and looked across from him at the door. He tried it, but like he thought, it was locked. He bent down to look through the keyhole and felt a cold shiver run up his spine when he saw a pale woman lying down against the wall. Suddenly her face looked right at him, and he jumped up and came away from the door and locked his hotel door behind him. He found it hard to go to sleep that night, and even had a nightmare that the woman was hovering over him in the bed. When he woke up the next morning, before he went for his breakfast, he took another look in the keyhole, but to his surprise, all he could see was red. He wondered, did they know he had been looking and cover it with something red? When he saw the lady at reception, she could see he felt really shook, and she said, "You looked through the keyhole, didn't you?" Jeffrey said yes. She cut him off before he could say any more and said, Okay, I might as well tell you. Years ago in that hotel room, a poor woman was murdered by her husband. We tried to rent the room out to customers afterwards, but it was just too hard. They kept coming back to us, complaining about strange and unsettling occurrences. The weird thing is, they all seem to have said they saw people, all white and pale, except for their bright, red eyes. Jeffrey was just back from his meeting and now relaxing in his hotel room. He was pondering on what the hotel receptionist was telling him about the woman in the room being killed by her husband, and knowing now that the reason he saw red through the keyhole was because the woman's bright red eyes were staring right at him. Suddenly there was a knock on the door and he jumped out of his daydream. He opened the door and there was a hotel clerk. They said, "Hello sir, I have this package that was left at the reception for you to be delivered to your room. Could you sign for it please?" Jeffrey signed for it, wondering what it was. When he shut the door, he sat down on the bed and opened the package and took out a VHS. He wondered what the VHS was and found it strange there was a VHS player in the hotel room, which he hadn't seen in years. He put the VHS in the machine and watched. As he was watching, there were clouds in the sky, then sun and countryside, etc. Then a man appeared on the screen. "Hello, Jeffrey. You're about to discover something amazing, something very special. In fact, maybe the most special thing to happen humanity ever. Your wife Susan, who is your love of your life, is a very special lady. Let me just show you when and how she became so special." A field appeared and there seemed to be lots of people throwing their hands in the air chanting, while Mary, Jeffrey's wife, was dancing next to a fire. She held up a knife and stabbed it into a cow. Jeffrey was shocked what he was looking at and then realized she was now stabbing a human. He froze watching his wife kill someone. Then the picture changed to his wife just staring into the camera, and she started speaking. "Hello, Jeffrey. I have known now for a week that you were attending a meeting in this town, and I saw your reservation with this hotel, so I thought it was the perfect opportunity to let you know about the Darkside. Don't be fooled by the name. The Darkside is the complete opposite of what it actually says. The Darkside gave me the opportunity to find out the meaning of life, and even if others find out the meaning of life, by the time they do, then the meaning of life changes. But the Darkside has enabled me to be strong and to be confident. That woman you saw in the room with those red eyes is my mother. I am telling you all this, darling, because just before my mother was brutally murdered in that room from her husband, I was born in it."